Alright, everyone. So, today we're learning about methods. Now, methods in programs are things that do things. Think of it as a verb. Any time you want your program to do a verb, then you should think of a method. Now, I'm going to start with a very basic example of something we really know how to do already, but it demonstrates the point fairly well. So let's say we have two integers, so num1 and num2. And let's say that num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 132. And let's say I want to add these things together. Now normally we would just do system.out.print num1 plus num2, or make a third variable or something like that. But in this case, I want to demonstrate how I can use a method to sort of create a separate section of code devoted to the task of adding things together. And the way to do that is, well, we have talked about that we have a method already in the program, this method here. This is called the main method. And we're going to kind of follow the exact same setup. Public static void is going to be what we put. Now we're going to put void for methods where we're just trying to print things out. And you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to say that this method is called addition. Now this addition method is going to take two variables. They're both going to be integers because that's what I want to add together. So int a and int b. Those are the two, they call them parameters that it's going to take. And then you make your two curly brackets for everything you want inside the method. Now since all it's doing is printing the output of the addition, I'm going to say that all this method is going to do is do system.out.println a plus b. And you might be thinking, why did I use a and b? Well, it's just to demonstrate something, that when I called a method in the main method, so I'm going to say addition, and then I'm going to use as my parameters num1 and num2. Now, what is going on here? So what I'm doing is, in any program, it runs the main method first. It checks the main method. And the main method says we have two variables, num1 and num2. They're 5 and 132. So if I add them together, it should be 137. And in order to add them together, I'm going to call this addition method. And I'm going to send over num1 and num2 as the two values that I'm sending to that method. And then it's going to go to this addition method. Num1 is going to be represented by A, and num2 is going to be represented by B. And when these values get sent over, it's going to then perform the addition method, and all that's going to do is print out the sum. So if I run the program, I get my output on the bottom of 137. So as you can see, this is just a verb. We're adding something. Well, it's not really addition. The word itself isn't a verb, but the action of adding something is. We are adding the two values together, A and B. And let's say I had more than just two variables in here. Let's say I had num3 and num4. And I said that num3 is 5, it's 13, and num4 is equal to 20. Now, if I were to change it to 3 and 4, it's still going to consider num3 as A and num4 as B, and when I run the code again, it's going to get 33 because that's 13 and 20. Now, I can always just use this method with whatever variables I like, I can still use num1 and num2. So if I call the method twice, calling the method just means you say the name of the method, addition, and the parameters that you're sending. And now let's run the program. Now I get two outputs, 137 and 33. The first one comes from that example we did before, and the second comes from when we use num3 and 4. And you can use whatever combination that you would like. So let's say like num4 and num1. So that would be 5 and 20. So I would expect that my last output is 25, and as we can see, that's correct. So methods are very useful for creating sections of code that do specific actions. And it may seem kind of redundant because we know how to add stuff together. In fact, it would be simpler just to put system.out.print. But in larger programs, it's very useful because we can do things like this where we're calling a bunch of variables and we can just set up one method at one point and it will do all the actions for us no matter what variables we're putting in there.